Good afternoon. I am Jessica Carroll, the Interim Program Manager for Measure 110, and I'll be assisting Dharma with facilitation of today's meeting. The Oversight and Accountability Council welcomes and encourages community input. Members of the public are invited to submit public comments or get on our interested parties email list by emailing oha.measure110@odhsoha.oregon.gov. That email address and more information about the council can be found on the Measure 110 OAC website. For more information or support with community engagement, please contact Sydney McConnell. OAC members have asked that OHA and other staff who are present in the meeting space introduce themselves in the chat. Please share your role with the agency, and if you're a subject matter expert, your area of expertise. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Dharma for our welcome.
Hi, folks. I'm Dharma. I'm one of the tri-chairs. Welcome to today's meeting. We should have a pretty quick and short meeting for everyone, so I'm not going to drag this on too much. We'll have the conversation about securing semi-permanent structures and then some OHA updates. And that's it. I'm going to pass it over to Sydney to do attendance.
Thanks, Dharma. I'm going to, it's nice to see everybody. I'm going to call your name. Please say here for the record. Amy?
I'm here.
Amy. Carlos?
Here.
Hi, Carlos. Caroline let us know she would not be here today. Dharma?
Here.
Hubert? Hi, Dharma. Hubert?
I'm here.
Hey, Hubert. Hunter also let us know he would not be here today. Jackie Mercer.
Here.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Keisha.
Yeah.
Hi, Keisha. Leticia.
Here.
Hi, Leticia. Linda. Don't see Linda yet. Melinda. Don't see Melinda. Meredith.
Here.
Hey, Meredith.
Hello.
Morgan let us know she would not be here. Nicole. Oh, I see Nicole.
I'm here.
Hi,
I'm here.
Nicole.
Hi.
Onisha. I see Onisha's here in the chat too. Ron will not be here today. Ryan.
I'm here.
Hi, Ryan. Sabrina.
I'm here.
Hi, Sabrina. Zeb.
I'm here.
Hey, Zeb.
Hi.
Annalise.
Here.
Hi, Annalise. And then Jackie Fabric also let us know she would be a little late today, but she should be here later, so I'll watch for her. Just checking real quick. Linda, Melinda, Jackie not here. So we're good at quorum with 14. To you, Dharma.
Thanks. I'm going to pass it over to Jessica and Lisa for a conversation about permanent structures.
Thanks, Dharma. Hi, everyone. So we're going to be talking about semi-permanent structures today. And we're going to first call for conflicts because there will be a vote. Again, as we all know, OAC members with an actual conflict of interest cannot participate in discussions on the matter that presents the conflict. In order to best protect members, we will be calling for conflicts before a matter on the agenda is discussed. If the matter could present a conflict for an OAC member. On the agenda for today, we're going to talk about semi-permanent structures and securing those, the security of those. If you announce a potential conflict of interest, you must announce the nature of the conflict, but you can participate in the discussion and vote. If you announce an actual conflict of interest, you must announce the nature of the conflict and refrain from participating in the discussion, and also turn your camera off. Would anyone like to declare a conflict of interest?
Can you list or name the burns that have these kinds of structures in them?
The burn providers.
Uh-huh.
There are 3 burn providers that we're talking about. Yes, give me 1 second. Let me pull that up. And it looks like Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, yeah, just because the agenda that I initially received yesterday, I didn't see that in there, so I'm also unsure of who we're talking about or what we're talking about. So if you could listen, that'd be great.
Sorry, I don't have that up, so just give me 1 second to pull it. Sorry, I'm struggling with a very slow computer.
Can I ask another question really quick? Is this something that we had conversation about before, or is this like a presentation we have like when we do amended contracts?
Well, this is a situation. So just to give it, I'm waiting for this to load. Sorry, my computer's super slow. I think everybody's is right now. And I do have that list. So first, let me give you the list. So we have Forest Grove Foundation in Washington County. We have Clatsop Community Action in Clatsop County, and we have Tillamook Care in Tillamook County. And this is essentially, so let's finish the conflict of interest and then I'll answer your question if that's okay, Sabrina. So let me read those again. I'll read them slower. We have Forest Grove Foundation in Washington County. We have the Clatsop Community Action in Clatsop County, and we have Tillamook Care in Tillamook County. Onisha.
Yes, I was just gonna say that I'm pretty sure people are very wise to ask for conflicts of interest. But the way I understand it, this question is about general operation, and it really is a protective factor for all brick and mortar that does not have the expected lifespan of up to 20 years, which is the requirement we make for brick and mortar that we provide for Measure 110. Some brick and mortar doesn't last that long. So that's all we're doing is voting so that those that don't last that long won't be out of requirement because a tiny home or a smaller brick and mortar situation doesn't last that long. So it's really a protective factor, and it's a general rule that I don't feel that it would be a conflict of interest because it will be for everybody.
Thank you, Onisha. So again, these are the three organizations that this rule would impact. If you would like to declare a conflict, potential or actual, please do so now. If not, we can get into the presentation. All right, I don't see any. And so I thank you, Onisha. I think Onisha just gave a really great kind of overview of what this is. So we have run into a unique situation with real property. I think this isn't the first unique situation we've run into. And whenever we run into something like this, we bring it back to the council and have you vote on it. So we're just kind of going to go over what's in the grant. We're going to go over some decisions that you've made in the past, and then we're going to talk about the situation that we're in and present a possible solution if that makes sense. So the current grant requirement for securing owned property. Grant agreements impose the following obligation on grantees. Except as otherwise expressly agreed by OHA in writing, when grant funds under the grant agreement in the amount of $10,000 and above are to be used for purchase of or improvements to real property, the recipient shall, prior to such expenditure, notify OHA and execute a declaration of restricted covenants to secure such real property or improvements. OHA's required procedure is based on the OAC vote that you all made on June 1st, 2022. And it is required that the state's interest be secured for a 20-year term. So for those of you who were here and remember, we brought you all an idea of securing the property. Property is usually secured. And you all agreed to secure it for 20 years to ensure that the property, once bought with the OAC, with the DTRS funds, will continue to be used for that function for 20 years. So that was your first vote. Next slide, please. All right, and then there's a present procedure required by our social determinants of health team and of OHA. So for real property purchases, grant recipients must execute a declaration of restricted covenants with OHA on behalf of the OAC. The declaration imposes use restrictions on the property for 20 years. The declaration must be signed by the recipient or owner and is recorded with the county property records. The restrictions run with the improved or purchased property. The grant does not need to be repaid if the recipient meets the use restriction for 20 years. And then there was an issue where we came up and we brought to you in December of 2022, an issue around renovating leased property. Was somebody asking a question? Or okay. And so for renovations to lease space, the OAC voted on 12/21/22 to not require a declaration of restricted covenants for current recipients previously approved to use grant funds for improving leased property if it was less than $300,000 awarded for property investment. So the grant agreements were instead extended by 5 years to ensure grant recipients use leased and improved real property to provide services for SUD clients. So that was a vote that you made. So that's kind of the history of what's going on here. Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so here's what we're currently facing. We are finding some grants providing funds to construct property that is less than $300,000 and not available for 20 years, i.e. pods, right? So the declaration of restricted covenants tool or the grant extension tool for securing real property investments in semi-permanent structures like living pods does not work well for Measure 110 grants because 1, pod structures do not last for 20 years. 2, pod investments exceed $300,000 and they may or may not be on leased land. So what we're finding is we're in a situation that isn't covered by your previous votes. So there are 3 Measure 110 grants with OAC approved funding for semi-permanent pod structures. The grant amounts range from $300,000 to $500,000 for these structures. So are there any questions? I think that's our last slide of actual information, and then we go on to a vote. Is that correct? Or a motion? All right, so are there any questions on this? So essentially we need to figure out how to secure, semi-permanent structures in a way that the value is still gotten, the value for the money is still there, and understanding that pods just don't have they don't last for 20 years. No questions? Yeah, Carlos.
So I'm just, when I ask the question, it'll make sense to me. So what you are asking of us is to look at the pod structures and if we can still approve the grants for them to be able to have these structures, correct?
Well, so you've already approved the grants. Can I get the next slide? I think that'll be helpful.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Never mind.
No.
Thank you.
So this is our proposed solution. Sorry, this is my fault. So our proposed solution is that we do not require a 20-year declaration of restricted covenants or a 5-year grant extension for current recipients. We don't feel either of those are great solutions. So instead, our proposed solution is to lower the length of restriction to 10 years or the usable life of the structure, whichever length of time is longer for current recipients previously approved to use funding for semi-temporary structures. So that is our best guidance to you. That is our best proposed solution. And that, to use the semi-permanent structures to provide listed services for SUD clients for 10 years or the usable life of the structure, whichever length of time is greater. And to repay the grant in a prorated basis for costs if property is not used by recipient as required for the full dedicated use. So we're essentially saying, let's secure it for the life or 10 years, whichever is greater, so that pod structure, it continues to be used for the purpose it was intended. Did that help, Carlos? Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So we have a proposed motion here. If somebody would like to consider it. Dharma.
Yeah, I move to authorize OHA to require Measure 110 grantees constructing semi-permanent structures, i.e. pods, to sign a declaration of restrictive covenants to make dedicated use of the semi-temporary structures for the Measure 110 intended purposes for the longer of 10 years or the usable life of the structure. And the declaration of restrictive covenants must require grant recipients who do not comply with the full dedicated use term to repay grant funds dispersed for real property improvements in an amount proportionate to the percentage of the dedicated use period not fulfilled by the recipient unless otherwise authorized by the OAC.
I second it.
All right, we have a motion from Dharma as appears on the screen, and we have a second from Onisha. Any discussion? Hearing none. Sydney?
One second. Sorry, that was a long one. I just got to make sure it copied into our little tracker here. I think it did. Okay, sorry about that. So the motion, I'm not going to read it all again, but I will paste it in the chat for everyone to be aware of. And Amy, how do you vote? I'll come back to Amy because I know she's busy. Carlos?
Yes.
Thanks, Carlos. Caroline is not here. Dharma?
Yes.
Hubert?
I don't think we could hear you, Hubert.
Still can't hear you, Hubert.
Yes, thumbs up. Okay, I'll put that in the chat just for the record, if you don't mind. But I'll go ahead and mark you as yes. Hunter is not here. Jackie Mercer?
Yes.
Thank you. Keisha?
Yes.
Thank you. And thank you, Hubert, for doing that in the chat. Leticia?
Yes.
Thank you. Linda, I don't think ever arrived, but Melinda?
Yes.
Thank you. Meredith?
Yes.
Thank you. Nicole?
Welcome.
Nicole, are you there? I'll come back to Nicole. Onisha, I see you voted yes in the chat. Ryan?
Yes.
Thank you. Sabrina?
Yes.
And Zeb?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm just going to go back up. Nicole, would you like to vote?
Yes.
Is that
Yes,
yes
yes.
your vote? Okay. Thank you very much. That passes with 13 yes votes. Back to you, Dharma.
Well, I'm just going to pass it over to Jessica for some OHA updates. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, Dharma. I only have one update for y'all, and that is that we will be posting the application, the OAC for the OAC seat that unfortunately we lost Jared last week. Jared, who resigned. So we will be opening that this week. Wanted to let you all know before we open it. We will be posting it and we will make sure that everybody gets the link. So if you know anyone who would be great for that harm reduction seat, please do let us know or have them, forward them the information. The link will also be posted on your website. So very excited to see the applications that come through.
The agenda I had 2 seats on it. Is that right? Or is it just the one?
Well, we're posting for the one now. I have a question about the other one. So we're posting for the one and then, and I know there are a lot of questions about the reappointment. I've gotten a lot of questions. We're currently working with DOJ on coming up with the analysis of the bill and who is reappointed and all that good stuff. And we'll be reporting back to you just as soon as we have that information, because I know it's top of mind for everyone. Sabrina.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if we have any updates about the other House bill that's, I guess I don't know how to say it properly. I live in a rural community, so we don't get a lot of newspaper, press, anything about recriminalization of small amounts of drugs. And so I was wondering if that impacts us at all, or if we can have a conversation about it in the future to update people that don't have access to that kind of information.
Yeah, yes. So I believe you were talking about House Bill 4002. And I just want to flag for Shannon and Natalie that I want to be very careful that I'm not, over speaking in the space. I do know that 4002 passed out of committee last night. And thank you, Shannon.
Hi, Jessica. Shannon O'Fallon, Oregon DOJ. I think providing factual information about what's happening in the legislature is totally fine.
Okay, thank you. I get a little nervous. Okay, so 4002 does recriminalize. It changes the Class E violation to a misdemeanor. I can say in the legislation as the most recent one that passed through committee last night and that I have seen does not talk up, or it does not change the structure of this council, and it does not change anything in your fund, the DTRSF fund. So, but it does deal with recriminalization.
And so could I just ask you, Jessica, so that means it did pass, so it didn't pass yet. That's where I'm confused, I think.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's a little confusing anyway. So it passed through their committee, and I think it goes to the floor. So it's, if I could do my best, like how a bill becomes a law, it has to pass the House and the Senate, right? And so I cannot tell you when that's going to happen. I don't have the actual dates, but it's going to the floor tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you. That makes it so much easier to understand, as I was trying to capture everything that was happening in real time with little information. So thank you very much, Jessica.
Yeah, and we're happy to send out like the link to OLIS. That is really helpful. That's really where I get most of my information. But yeah, always happy to help. And you can call me anytime, Sabrina. Melinda.
Hi. It's my understanding that they have to have, I'm not sure if I'm right, or that all this has to be done by March 10th, if it's going to go through or not.
It is around there. I'm not sure if I think John Collins might actually know this if he's in here. The last day of session is John Collins.
Yeah, it's on about March 10th, but it might end earlier. They've already called for sine die. So, but
What does that mean?
Oh, that means when they close. Sorry, that means when they close out the legislative session.
So does everything have to be voted on and signed and dealt when they close it? It's done.
That's
right.
It has to be voted on. The governor may sign it, sometime after that.
Okay, thank you.
If she elects, yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts, questions? All right, hearing none, it looks like folks have some places to be. So gifts of time back. Thank you so much for all of your time and attention today. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good day.
You all too.
Thanks, Carlos. Thanks for showing us your chickens.
I know.
Bye, everyone.
Can I ask, is the media subcommittee still meeting, Jessica?
Yes, the media, we will be resuming the media subcommittee in next month. It's just during legislative session. There was not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get back on that list? I don't have a conflict of the time anymore, so I can
Okay.
go.
Sure, we can add you.
Thanks. Can I ask
Hey,
you one more thing
Jessica.
while we're here?
You sure can. You can ask me whatever you want, Dharma.
I was wondering, actually, I'll just talk about it on Friday at the tri-chair meeting. It's probably a better spot for it. All right, thanks.
All right, bye. Melinda, were you saying something?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out when am I supposed to be ready to take over?
Oh, that was sorry. Yes. So we are sending you out, or we may have already done it. So we are going to be sending you the meeting invites for the tri-chair meetings. The next tri-chair meeting, the first meeting that you will be attending is on Friday at 1:00.
Friday what? This week?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, didn't nobody tell me.
We haven't sent out the invite yet, Melinda. We would need to
Okay.
reset the series and everything, so that's why you haven't gotten it yet.
So what time are they on Fridays so I can see if it's going to work with my schedule?
1:00.
1:00.
Oh, duh. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yep, and every meeting week there is a meeting at 11:00 on Tuesday so that's just a half an hour meeting.
So on Tuesdays, there's a half an hour meeting, and on Friday, there's an hour meeting.
Yep.
And that's it. Besides our Measure 110 meeting on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday.
Yes.
Second and fourth Wednesday, second and fourth Tuesday, every Friday.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll send you the series though, Melinda. We can talk.
And if you
Awesome.
can't make this week, that's fine. You can make next week.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You guys have a great day. Bye.